So, we're pretty much stuck inside for the foreseeable future. And with no live sports on, no sports at all, no live races, and only crappy hysterical media being live right now, we need to turn on some reruns. I do this in my spare time as well, and I'm assuming that many of you race fans watch old races to pass the time as well. And now is more important than ever to find good races from the past to fill the void of live racing. Today, I present to you 10 races to watch under quarantine. These races aren't meant to fill any criteria except that they are NASCAR races that I subjectively think are good. Some are all-time greats, while others are races that are generally forgotten, but that I think people will enjoy, similar to how I have. Starting out, we can look at the shortest race on the list, the 1987 Winston. This race was an aggressive scrum between Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott. Known best as the Pass in the Grass race, what led up to it was a battle for the ages. As a fan, it adds so much more emotion and context to this moment, as well as to the past race interviews if you see the race in full. Another finish that has added context with the full race is the 2001 Cracker Barrel 500. Being only 3 races after the tragic passing of Dale Earnhardt, it is obvious that this would be a major storyline of the race, as his young replacement Kevin Harvick began what has thus far been a Hall of Fame career status. The race would come down to 5 cars in contention to win before it was whittled down to 2 that we all know of today. The next race up is a crazy one because it's Talladega. The 2008 Aaron's 499. This race is overshadowed by just about every post-2007 COT plate race. The pack was incredibly bunched together, nearly the entire race. Leaders swapped early and often. And the start of the tandem drafting was on full display. This race was both great for its time and also a start to what eventually the future of superspeedway racing would turn into. Another superspeedway race to watch would be the 1999 Daytona 500. Everyone remembers Dale Earnhardt's 500 victory in '98, and for obvious reasons, but what many forget is that the year after was absolutely crazy throughout the race and especially the finish. This will be decided between Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Mike Skinner, Michael Waltrip, and many more who battled to nearly insane levels. It's a great race to see if you want something really fun to watch while you're stuck at home. One race that nobody probably would think would be on this list that I put on was the 2009 Pepsi 500 at California. This is about the best an early COT race can be on an intermediate track. Trust me, it is well worth the viewing. You can't have a list of NASCAR races to watch without mentioning at least one short track race. This is where I would push the 2014 Goody's Fast Relief 500 at Martinsville. This was another race of comers and goers. The final 100 laps basically became a duel between Hendrick teammates, Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr., and the final restart showed the immense difference of new tires versus old tires. Now, while the last race was not necessary to view with the championship in mind, this next entry is the 2011 Ford Ecoboost 400. Tony Stewart versus Carl Edwards. Stewart had won 4 of the first 9 chase races in order to barely trail the ever-consistent Edwards. Even with the race being plagued by rain, it still is a must-watch when you have the time to, especially if you watch with the red flags. Another must-watch is the 2018 Overton's 400 at Chicago Lea. This race is really only known for Dale Jr.'s slide job call, but is actually an all-around great race. The old cheese grater track surface ate up tires and gave in to large amounts of coming and going throughout the race. The stages had both either great racing or great finishes. The final stage built up like a great movie being written. Kyle Larson closing in on Kyle Busch. Then the legendary finish occurred. Once again, this is a race that is good enough to be viewed in its entirety and not just on one moment. Another race that perfectly deserves to be in this is the 1979 Daytona 500. I mean, come on. You're literally stuck inside just like many, many people were who watched this race in 79. Have you ever watched it all the way through? Oh my God, it's amazing. You have all of the greats from NASCAR's golden years racing up front. Great racing, growing anticipation at the start because of the postponement of rain, and the drama building for Donnie Allison and Cale Yarborough. Oh, and did I mention the finish in the fight? I don't want to be a NASCAR gatekeeper here, but there's probably only one race that I personally would think you have to watch all the way through if you're a NASCAR fan at some point, and it is this one. The last race on this list may be the most relevant right now. The 2020 Fan Shield 500 at Phoenix. Yep, the last race so far driven in NASCAR is the last one on this list. If you're going to be watching NASCAR when it comes back, then you probably want to be in the loop over what has happened before the hiatus. For that reason alone is why this race, a great race, is on this list. So now I want to pass it on to you. What races will you be watching while NASCAR isn't on live? Also, if you do end up watching any of these 10 races, then come on back to this comment section and let me know. I really want to hear which ones you liked or didn't like. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And until next time, have a good one.